Hey everyone, ready to jump into another deep dive. Today, we're looking at distillery workers.
Yeah, the folks behind our favorite spirits.
Exactly. We've got some great resources from RoleCatcher to help you prep for your interview. Career guide, sample interview questions, the whole works.
And we'll be uncovering what it takes to really succeed in this field.
Right. It's more than just mixing ingredients. It's a fascinating blend of science, art, and hard work. The RoleCatcher Career Guide gives a really vivid picture of what distillery workers actually do.
Yeah, you're operating industrial-sized equipment,
Monitoring fermentation.
even rolling those heavy barrels.
Oh yeah, definitely a physically demanding job. You're on your feet a lot, working with heavy machinery, and often in pretty hot and humid environments.
But there's also a real sense of accomplishment seeing a batch of spirits through from start to finish.
For sure. And the career guide highlights the growing demand for craft spirits. So there's real potential for career growth in this industry. But first, you got to nail that interview. So let's jump into the RoleCatcher Interview Guide and tackle some of those tricky questions. Ready to dive in?
Absolutely, let's go.
All right, first question. Can you explain your experience working with distilling equipment? Might seem straightforward, but it's your chance to shine.
Definitely the interviewer is looking for more than just a list of equipment.
Right, they want to see your depth of knowledge.
Have you worked with different types of stills? Do you understand how they operate, the nuances?
And that's where RoleCatcher's AI can really help. It helps you tailor your answer to the specific job.
Exactly. Let's say the job description mentions a continuous column still.
Right, you can use RoleCatcher to research that type of still.
Sure.
And make sure your answer highlights that experience, even if it's from a different industry.
It's all about showcasing transferable skills.
Like if you've operated complex machinery in manufacturing, you can draw parallels to the operation of distilling equipment.
For sure. So instead of just saying, I've operated a still.
You could say something like, in my previous role, I was responsible for operating a continuous flow reactor, which required precise monitoring of temperature and pressure, similar to a continuous column still.
Much better, right? Shows a deeper understanding.
Exactly. And you can even use RoleCatcher's AI feedback to practice your answer.
Make sure you're hitting all the key points.
Now, be prepared for follow-up questions too. Like, what challenges have you faced while operating this equipment, and how did you overcome them?
This is where you show off your problem-solving skills.
Think of a specific situation where you had to troubleshoot a technical issue,
Maybe a pressure gauge malfunctioned.
or a temperature control system went haywire.
Walk them through your thought process, the steps you took, and how you resolved the issue.
And don't forget to highlight the positive outcome.
Did your solution prevent a batch from being ruined?
Did it improve efficiency or safety? Quantifiable results are always impressive.
Absolutely, and this ties back to the career guide's emphasis on safety. You want to showcase your commitment to maintaining a safe working environment, even under pressure.
All right, so you've impressed them with your technical knowledge and problem-solving skills. Now let's move on to question number 2. How do you ensure that the distilling process is consistent?
This goes right to the heart of quality control.
A crucial aspect of distillery work highlighted in the career guide.
It's not just following a recipe, it's understanding all the variables that can impact the final product.
So what are some key points to hit in your answer?
Start by talking about meticulous record keeping.
Yeah, documenting every step is crucial for consistency.
From the raw materials used to the precise temperatures and timings.
And don't just say you're good at taking notes. Give a specific example.
Maybe you developed a spreadsheet to track fermentation progress.
Or implemented a system for labeling and storing samples.
Exactly. And be ready to discuss your knowledge of quality control procedures.
Do you understand how to measure alcohol by volume?
Are you familiar with sensory analysis techniques, for evaluating flavor and aroma?
And this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI is super helpful. Their platform has a whole library of industry-specific terminology and concepts,
Make sure you're using the right language,
and demonstrating a deep understanding of the field.
like having a distillery encyclopedia right at your fingertips.
Okay, now a potential follow-up question could be, can you describe a time when you had to adjust the process to maintain consistency?
This is another chance to showcase those problem-solving skills.
And your understanding of the distilling process.
Did you notice a variation in a batch's flavor profile?
Did a change in the weather impact fermentation?
Explain how you identified the issue, analyzed the data, and made adjustments to get things back on track.
And again, highlight that positive outcome.
Did your adjustments result in a more consistent product?
Did it improve efficiency? Quantify your success whenever possible?
You're not just telling a story, you're demonstrating your competence and your value as a potential employee.
Exactly. Okay, let's keep this momentum going. And move on to a question that gets at the heart of safety in a distillery. Can you describe your experience with safety procedures in a distillery?
Yeah, distilleries have inherent risks, so this is a big one.
Absolutely. This is where you show the interviewer you understand the importance of safety and that you have a proactive mindset and a proven track record.
Right, they want to see you've actually followed procedures.
So how do you approach this question effectively?
We'll start by emphasizing your commitment to safety as a core value. Don't just list procedures.
Talk about specific safety protocols you've followed.
In previous roles, of course.
Like you could mention, at my previous job, I was responsible for conducting daily safety inspections of the equipment, ensuring all safety guards were in place and functioning correctly.
Precisely, and don't be afraid to get granular. Mention specific types of PPE you're familiar with.
Like respirators for handling chemicals.
Or specialized gloves for high-temperature tasks.
And this is where RoleCatcher comes in handy again. Their AI can analyze the job description and highlight specific safety requirements.
So you can tailor your answer perfectly.
Exactly. It's about demonstrating you're safety conscious and adaptable.
And that you can quickly learn the safety protocols of a new environment.
Now, a likely follow-up question here is, can you describe a time when you identified a potential safety hazard and took steps to correct it?
Prime opportunity to showcase your proactive approach to safety.
Choose an example where you noticed something amiss.
A loose electrical wire or a leaking valve.
Explain the steps you took from reporting the issue to implementing a temporary fix.
And walk them through your assessment of the risk.
Was it a minor issue you could handle immediately?
Or did it require escalating to a supervisor?
Or even halting operations altogether?
Always end on a positive note, though.
Highlighting how your actions prevented an accident or injury. Okay, shifting gears a bit. Let's move on to a question that might seem basic but is super important. For maintaining product quality, how do you ensure that the distillery is clean and sanitized?
Cleanliness and sanitation are absolutely essential in a distillery. No room for error there.
Right. The interviewer is looking for someone who gets that.
And has a meticulous approach to hygiene.
So how do you convey that in your answer?
Start by highlighting your understanding of the different cleaning and sanitizing agents.
And their specific applications.
Explain how you'd choose the right agent based on the surface or equipment.
For example, you might say, I'm familiar with using caustic cleaners for removing stubborn residue from fermentation tanks, and iodine-based sanitizers for sterilizing bottling lines.
Perfect. And go beyond just listing the agents. Describe the process in detail.
Mention the importance of contact time rinsing procedures and using test strips.
To verify the effectiveness of the sanitation process.
And again, RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your answer here. Let's say the job description emphasizes good manufacturing practices.
GMP?
Right? RoleCatcher can provide specific examples of GMP-compliant procedures.
That you can incorporate into your answer.
Showing, industry best practices.
And can adapt your approach to meet specific requirements.
A potential follow-up question here could be, have you ever encountered a situation where sanitation standards were not being met? What did you do?
This is about integrity and your commitment to quality.
Don't be afraid to describe a situation where you had to address a lapse in sanitation.
Even if it meant confronting a coworker or halting production.
Explain how you identified the issue, communicated the concern, and took steps to rectify the situation.
Ensuring compliance with sanitation protocols.
And it's okay to acknowledge mistakes.
What matters is how you handle them.
Show you're willing to take responsibility and maintain the highest standards.
Speaking of high standards, let's talk about inventory management.
Okay, so next question. How do you handle raw materials and other ingredients in a distillery?
The interviewer wants to see that you understand proper handling, storage, and inventory control. All crucial for maintaining the quality and freshness of the ingredients.
So what are some key points to emphasize?
Start by discussing your familiarity with different types of raw materials.
Grains, fruits, botanicals.
Right. And highlight your knowledge of their specific storage requirements.
You could say, for example, I understand the importance of storing grains in a cool, dry environment to prevent mold growth.
And I'm familiar with proper handling techniques for delicate fruits to minimize bruising.
Exactly. And don't forget inventory control. The first in, first out principle is key here.
FIFO helps prevent spoilage.
By ensuring that older ingredients are used before newer ones.
And guess what? RoleCatcher can help you tailor your answer here too.
If the job description mentions a specific inventory management system, you can research that system and incorporate it into your answer.
Showing you can adapt and learn new systems quickly.
A potential follow-up question here could be, have you ever had to deal with a shipment of raw materials that didn't meet quality standards. What did you do
This is where you show off your attention to detail.
in your commitment to using only the best ingredients?
Describe a situation where you identified a problem with a shipment,
Maybe the grains were contaminated.
or the fruits were overripe.
Explain how you documented the issue, contacted the supplier, and followed the procedures for returning or disposing of the subpar ingredients.
It's not just about identifying the problem, it's about taking ownership and finding a solution.
Show your problem-solving skills and commitment to maintaining the integrity of the distilling process. Okay, we're making great progress here, but we're not done yet. Let's move on to a question that delves into the art of distilling. Can you describe your experience with barrel aging?
Barrel aging where science meets artistry.
I love that.
The interviewer wants to know if you understand how different barrels' aging techniques and environmental factors influence the final flavor.
So what are some key things to highlight?
Start by explaining your knowledge of the different types of wood used for aging barrels.
Oak, chestnut, acacia.
Discuss how each wood imparts unique flavors and aromas.
For example, you could say, I'm familiar with how American oak barrels tend to impart vanilla and caramel notes.
And while French oak barrels contribute spicy or toasty flavors.
Exactly. And don't forget to mention barrel toasting and charring levels.
How those processes influence the extraction of wood compounds and the development of flavor complexity.
And RoleCatcher can help you shine here too. If the job description mentions aging a specific type of spirit, like whiskey or rum, you can use RoleCatcher to research the ideal barrel types, toasting levels, and aging times.
All about tailoring your answer to show your passion for the craft.
And your commitment to producing high-quality spirits. Now, a potential follow-up question could be, can you describe a time when you experimented with barrel aging to achieve a specific flavor profile?
This is your chance to showcase your creativity and your understanding of the nuanced interplay between wood spirit and time.
Maybe you experimented with different barrel sizes to accelerate aging.
Or blended spirits from different barrels to create a unique flavor.
Describe the experiment, the variables you manipulated, and the results. Did you achieve the desired flavor profile?
What did you learn from the process?
Even if the experiment didn't go perfectly.
It's still a valuable learning experience.
Share your insights and show that you're willing to experiment and refine your craft. Okay, let's tackle one more question for this part of our deep dive. This one focuses on the final stages of the process. Can you describe your experience with blending and bottling?
Blending and bottling may seem straightforward, but they require attention to detail, a deep understanding of flavor profiles, and a commitment to consistency and quality.
So how do you showcase your expertise here?
Start by explaining the importance of blending. In achieving a consistent flavor profile for each batch.
Describe your approach to blending.
Whether it's following a strict recipe or relying on your sensory skills.
For instance, you could say, I'm meticulous about measuring and recording the proportions of each component in a blend to ensure consistency from batch to batch.
Excellent. And if you have experience with specific blending equipment or software, be sure to mention that as well.
Shows your familiarity with industry standard tools and techniques.
Don't forget about bottling.
Highlight your experience operating bottling lines, ensuring proper fill levels.
And inspecting bottles for defects.
RoleCatcher can help you tailor your answer here too. If the job description mentions specific bottling equipment or software, you can research those systems and work them into your answer. Now, a potential follow-up question could be, have you ever encountered a problem during the blending or bottling process? How did you solve it?
This is a chance to show off your problem-solving skills.
And your commitment to quality control.
Maybe you noticed a variation in the color or clarity of the bottled spirits.
Or there was an issue with the labeling machine.
Describe the problem, the steps you took to identify the root cause.
And the solution you implemented.
It's not always about having all the answers right away. It's about thinking critically, troubleshooting effectively, and finding a resolution.
That ensures the quality of the final product.
Which is ultimately what this job is all about.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot of ground here, but there are still some important questions to address. So let's take a quick break. And we'll be back soon to continue our deep dive into the world of distillery work.
Sounds good. See you in a bit.
See you soon. All right, welcome back, everyone. We're ready to tackle some more of those tricky interview questions so you can really ace your distillery worker interview.
Yeah, let's jump right back in.
Okay, this next one focuses on problem solving. Can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a problem during the distilling process?
A classic behavioral question.
The interviewer wants to see how you think on your feet.
Right, how you approach challenges and stay calm under pressure.
So how do you choose a good example for this one?
Pick a situation with a real problem, something that required critical thinking.
Something where you had to go off script.
Could be a mechanical malfunction,
An unexpected change in fermentation.
even a quality control issue.
And don't be afraid to talk about a time when you didn't have all the answers right away. It's all about how you approached the problem
The steps you took to diagnose it.
and the resources you used to find a solution.
And this is where RoleCatcher can really help. Their AI can analyze the job description,
And pinpoint those key skills and qualities.
so you can choose an example that highlights those specific areas.
Whether it's problem-solving teamwork or adaptability.
It's about showing how you fit the job.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit to teamwork. Next question. Can you describe your experience working in a team environment?
Oh, distilleries are definitely collaborative workplaces.
Teamwork is essential.
The interviewer wants to see that you can communicate well, share ideas.
And work together to achieve a common goal.
So what are some key points to hit in your answer?
I think starting by highlighting the importance of teamwork in a distillery is a good place to start, and then give some specific examples of your experience working in teams.
From previous jobs, school projects, even volunteer work.
Exactly. And don't just talk about your own contributions. Talk about how you collaborated with your teammates, how you handled conflicts,
And how you celebrated successes together.
because it's a team effort.
And be ready for follow-up questions.
Like, describe a time when you had to work with a difficult teammate
They want to see your conflict resolution skills.
and your ability to stay positive and productive.
It's okay to acknowledge challenges
What matters is how you handled them, what you learned.
and the steps you took to improve things.
And this is another spot where RoleCatcher shines. Their AI can analyze your answer and provide feedback on your communication style,
Your use of teamwork language,
Yeah.
even your tone of voice.
like having a coach for your interview skills.
Exactly.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here, explored the key responsibilities of a distillery worker, dived into the technical stuff, and tackled some tough interview questions.
And we've seen how RoleCatcher's AI can be a real asset.
In tailoring your answers, showcasing your skills, and even getting feedback on your delivery.
It's a game changer for sure.
So what are some key takeaways for our listeners as they prep for their distillery worker interview?
Well, first do your research. Understand the specific job requirements.
Research the company culture.
Familiarize yourself with the industry's lingo and techniques.
Second, showcase your passion. This is a craft that takes dedication and enthusiasm.
Let that love for the process shine through.
Third, be prepared to go deep.
Show the interviewer you really understand the distilling process.
From fermentation science to the art of barrel aging.
And fourth use, RoleCatcher.
Their AI tools can help you with everything.
From tailoring your resume to practicing your answers and refining your delivery.
It's like having a secret weapon for your job search.
Definitely.
So if you're ready to dive into the world of craft spirits, take action. Sign up for a free RoleCatcher account, explore their resources, practice those interview questions, and go into that interview with confidence and enthusiasm.
And remember, as the demand for craft spirits keeps growing, so will the need for skilled distillery workers.
This is a career path with real potential for those who are passionate about the craft, dedicated to quality, and eager to learn and grow.
It's a chance to be a part of something special, creating spirits that people will enjoy for years to come.
Cheers to that. Okay, let's take a short break, and we'll be right back to wrap up our deep dive on distillery worker interview prep.
See you soon.
And we're back, ready to finish strong.
Absolutely. Let's wrap up this distillery worker interview prep.
All right, we've got a couple more common questions to cover. First up, can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a problem during the distilling process?
Another behavioral question.
Yep, the interviewer is checking out your problem-solving skills.
How you handle those unexpected hiccups.
So what kind of example should you use?
Something specific. A real problem you faced.
Something that made you think on your feet?
Maybe a mechanical issue that popped up.
Or a weird change in the fermentation process?
Even a quality control problem you had to tackle.
And it's okay if you didn't have the answer right away. What matters is how you approached it.
The steps you took to figure it out.
The resources you used to find a solution.
And this is where a RoleCatcher can be a lifesaver.
Their AI can analyze that job description and help you pick an example that highlights the skills they're looking for.
Problem solving, teamwork, adaptability.
It's all about showing you're the right fit.
Okay, ready for the last question.
Let's do it. This one's all about teamwork. Can you describe your experience working in a team environment?
Distilleries are all about collaboration.
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
The interviewer wants to know if you can communicate effectively.
Share ideas, work together towards that common goal.
Exactly. So how do you nail this one?
I think starting by emphasizing the importance of teamwork in a distillery is key, and then give those concrete examples of your team experience.
From past jobs, school projects, volunteering, anything really.
Don't just talk about yourself, though. Talk about how you worked with others, how you handled disagreements.
And how you celebrated successes as a team.
Teamwork is all about shared wins.
And be ready for those follow-up questions.
Like, describe a time when you had to work with a difficult teammate.
This is your chance to show off your conflict resolution skills.
Your ability to stay positive and keep things moving forward.
It's normal to have challenges in teams.
What matters is how you dealt with them, what you learned.
And how you used that experience to improve.
And guess what? RoleCatcher can help you here too. Their AI can give you feedback on your answer.
Your communication style, your tone of voice.
It's like having a personal coach for your interview. Wow, we've really covered a lot today.
We have, from the key responsibilities of a distillery worker.
And the technical aspects of the job.
And of course, those tricky interview questions.
And we can't forget about RoleCatcher's amazing AI tools. They can seriously help you prepare and stand out.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are the main takeaways for our listeners?
First and foremost, do your research. Understand the job requirements. Research the company.
Get familiar with the industry lingo.
Second, show them you're passionate about this craft. Let your enthusiasm shine through.
Third, be ready to dive deep into those technical details.
Show the interviewer you know your stuff.
And lastly, use RoleCatcher.
Their AI can help you tailor your resume, practice your answers, and really nail your delivery.
It's your secret weapon for landing that distillery job.
So if you're ready to join the world of craft spirits, take action. Sign up for a free RoleCatcher account. Explore their resources and practice those interview questions.
And remember, as the demand for craft spirits keeps growing, the need for skilled distillery workers will only increase.
This is a career with amazing potential for those who are passionate, dedicated, and eager to learn.
It's a chance to create something truly special.
And be a part of an industry that's full of flavor and excitement. So until next time, cheers to all you aspiring distillery workers.
Cheers!
We'll see you on our next deep dive.